Hello friends, welcome to Insights ICANN initiative. In today's video, we are going to discuss about current issue related to 13th of November. So first in today's video, which topics we are going to cover, let us see. In today's video, we are going to discuss about following 5 topics. First topic starts with QS World University Ranking. It is miscellaneous, India's rank and indexes. Electoral Trust Scheme related to Indian polity. Fifth, India-U.S. 2+2 Ministerial Dialogue related to IR. Central Bureau of Investigation Polity, Digital Advertisement Policy 2023 related to government initiatives and policies. These are the 5 topics we are going to discuss in today's video. Now let us see the first topic, QS World University Rankings. You know that students, QS World University Rankings, this particular ranking is about university ranking in Asia region. Okay, this ranking specially confined to Asia region only. Now in this video, we are going to check which Indian institutes are in top 100 category and what is the progress, whether our Indian universities are improving their standards or not, and in this ranking what kind of parameters they are going to see. And we will also see how the gap between India and China is getting reduced. Of course, that is a good news. Meanwhile, for you, one question, education comes under which list of the schedule 7? Put your answer in the comment section. Okay, now let's see first topic, that is QS World University Rankings Asia 2024. First we will see which organization published this particular report. This particular report is published by Quackrell Simmons. They released the QS Asia University Rankings Asia 2024. How many universities of Asia they are considering in this? They are considered around 856 universities in this report. Out of that, 856 from India, around 148 universities they are included in this list. Then these the universities in this particular report, they are evaluated based on various indicators such as their academic reputations, faculty and student ratio, then employer reputation, sustainability of that institute, as well as sustainability of various courses launched by that particular university, and employment outcomes and international research networks. As well as they also consider number of research paper published from that particular universities in reputed journals. So these are the various indicators they take into consideration. The top ranking universities, if you look at here, majority of the top ranking universities, they are from China and Singapore. Top ranking universities in Asia is Peking University, China, then University of Hong Kong, then National University of Singapore. These are the top 3. Now let's see India's performance. From India, IIT Bombay retained top ranking in India with, what is the rank of that IIT Bombay? 40th, 40. You know students, recently IIT Madras, they launched their one of the branch in Africa. Tell me students, in which country they launched their branch? They started their branch. 7 Indian institutes are featured in top 100. Let's see, 5 of them belongs to the IITs and rest of the 2 are Indian Institute of Science Bangalore as well as the Delhi University. So these are the 7 institutes which are featuring in top 100 list. India surpasses China in terms of what? In terms of number of new universities entered into this report. Compared to China, Indian universities in the new entrant category, in that India overtook China. For example, number of new universities included from India, around 37 universities, okay, whereas China only 7 new universities they featured in this particular report. That means from India, more number of universities they are upgrading to the higher standards and they are featuring in this report. Now let's see India's strengths and challenges. India is performing of course pretty well in various categories in spite of some challenges. So in which areas we are performing very well? Let's see. India is performing very well in terms of the research outputs and highly qualified faculty members with PhDs, and in the below categories, challenges, below average in academic as well as employer reputations. India's research output increased significantly, 60% increase from 2018 to 2022. The research, research output is increasing. That means much focus is being directed towards the research. When this happens, then obviously it leads to innovation and more number of even patents also can be claimed by Indian universities. That can be good news. Now let's see union government initiatives related to education. First one, Institute of Eminence scheme. Under this scheme, 10 institutions, they are going to be modeled in international level. Out of these 20 institutions, 10 from the public sector and 10 from the private sector, they will be chosen, and these 20 institutions, they will be developed to international level. That is known as institutions of eminence. And next, National Education Policy 2020, you know that. This particular policy is aimed to completely revamp India's education from school level to college level, and its main aim is to make India into global knowledge superpower. And third one, Uchitar Avishkar Yojana. Avishkar means innovation. To promote innovation, obviously, certain incentives are required. This particular scheme is aiming that. So we can promote the innovation in higher education, so that those courses in the higher education, they can cater to the industry needs. That means the gap between the academic as well as the industry needs, that gap has to be reduced. That is the main goal. And the fourth one, impacting the research, innovation and teaching imprint. This is about the collaboration among IITs and IA, Indian Institute of Science, as a joint venture to develop new education policy, so that they can revamp research to solve major engineering and technological challenges. So this is specifically, it is between among these IITs and IIMs. So these are the various initiatives by Government of India, and this is the topic number 1, university ranking. Second one, Electoral Trust Scheme 2013. Electoral Trust. Recently, Supreme Court reserved their verdict regarding the constitutional validity of electoral bonds. Okay, before electoral bonds, political parties used to receive funds through electoral trust. This electoral trust will be established by any company which is registered under Companies Act. The companies which can establish the trust, through trust they can collect the money, and that money can be given to the political parties, okay, by following the various rules. Actually, the transparency as well as audit mechanism in electoral trust used to be very good compared to the electoral bonds. In electoral bonds, anonymity will be maintained and selective information is available to the government. There are various criticism on the electoral bonds, you know that. Now let us see some information regarding the electoral trust. Supreme Court reserved its judgment regarding the constitutional validity of the electoral bond scheme. Actually, this electoral bond scheme launched in 2018. Before that, we used to have electoral trust scheme to facilitate the funding to political parties. That electoral trust scheme, it was launched in 2013. It was launched in 2013 and notified by the Central Board of Direct Taxes. This electoral trust means trust which is set up by companies with an objective of what? Distributing the contributions which received by them to the various political parties. Who are eligible to set up this kind of trust? Any company which is registered under Companies Act 1956, and of course various other laws used to regulate this process as well. Those laws such as Income Tax Act 1961 and Income Tax Rules 1962. Mechanism of distribution of funds. After funds are collected by the electoral trust, certain percentage, like 5% of the total collected money, that will be retained by the trust for administrative purpose, and rest of the 95% of the money will be given to various political parties according to the regulations. Political parties which are registered with Election Commission of India, only they are eligible to receive the funds from electoral trust. And audit of this electoral trust, this audit will be done by professionals, and those audit reports also will be submitted to the Commissioner of Income Tax or the Director of the Income Tax. So compared to the electoral bonds, this electoral trust are seemingly more transparent or more accountable according to some of the experts' opinion. See, transparency and accountability. The accountability and functioning of electoral trust is compared to very high because they are annually audited. Whereas compared to electoral bonds are more opaque in nature. Okay. According to Association of Democratic Reforms, ADR, single party received around 72% of the money from the electoral trust, as well as 57% of the entire funding. Out of the entire funding, 57% of the funding went to one political party according to these electoral bonds. That means there is some kind of discrepancies in funding. Majority of the funding is going to few political parties. Even we discussed this particular one in few days back as well. This particular data will be helpful to you, especially when political parties and funding, when you are writing those kind of answers, it will be pretty helpful to you. Topic number 3, the 5th India-US 2+2 minister dialogues. Whenever you come across the word 2+2 dialogue means 2 ministers from one nation and 2 ministers from another nation. Here 2 ministers include defense minister as well as the foreign affairs minister. If India considers any particular country strategically very significant, then India approach to that particular country with this 2+2 mechanism. The first country with which India started the 2+2 mechanism is USA. After that, India started 2+2 mechanisms with countries such as Japan, Australia and Russia. Recently, 2023 in October, India started the 2+2 mechanism even with the UK as well. In 2+2, majorly both nations discuss various issues related to strategically significance. Let's see. Recently, India and USA, we concluded the 5th 2+2 dialogue which was held in New Delhi. This 2+2 dialogue, first 2+2 dialogue between India and USA, it was held in 2018 during the Donald Trump periods. And USA is one of the oldest ties in terms of 2+2. After then only the rest of the countries came. With Japan, we started 2+2 talks in 2019 and Australia and Russia 2021 and UK 2023. With America, when we were having 2+2 talks with America, we both countries signed on various important agreements. With these agreements, India is able to access some of the strategic assistance from America. Let's see what are those agreements. In 2016, both nations signed on Logistics Exchange Memorandum of Agreement. With this, both India and USA, we can use each other logistics related to defense. 2018, Communication Compatibility and Security Agreement in 2018. With this, we can get the assistance from the USA in terms of the satellite communication and any information related to satellite communication. In 2020, Basic Exchange and Cooperation Agreement, okay, this was also signed. So, India is the only country which is identified as strategic defense partner by USA. Okay, this is the third topic. Now, next 4th topic, CBI, Central Bureau of Investigation. You know, students, regarding the CBI, some certain states, they withdraw the general consent. First, you have to know what is the meaning of general consent. By default, CBI can go and investigate investigate any case by visiting any state in India. But if any state, they withdraw the general consent to CBI means CBI cannot enter into that state unless until they take the permission from the state, or else the case is already related to the old one, or case registered somewhere else and the accused persons are living in that particular state. Unless until these conditions are fulfilled, CBI cannot enter into the state if the state withdrawn the general consent given to CBI. Sometimes court can direct the CBI in that conditions, they do not require the consent from the state. Now, the West Bengal is complaining that even though West Bengal withdrawn the CBI entry, still CBI entered into the West Bengal and they are investigating. So, now West Bengal complained against the union government that union government is the one which allowed the CBI to do this kind of things. Union government will list which kind of activities can be done by the CBI. That is the reason union government is violating the state rights. So, West Bengal government filed a case against union government under Article 131 original writ. You know that when union government and state government are having dispute each other, they can go to only Supreme Court under original jurisdiction. But what union government is arguing? Union government is arguing that they are not having complete control over the CBI. CBI can be controlled only in terms of administration point of view only by the union government through DOPT, but functional point of view CBI has complete autonomy. That is what union government is saying. CBI is independent body, so union government cannot control them. Now, regarding the CBI, CBI is the premier investigation agency in India and they provide investigation assistance to CVC, Central Vigilance Commission, as well as the Lokpal. CBI regulated by Department of Personnel, which comes under Ministry of Personnel, Pension and Public Grievances. Investigation of offences under Prevention of Corruption Act also comes under CBI. CBI acts as a nodal agency to Interpol. If Interpol requires any help, that help will be provided by the CBI. You know that Interpol is the International Police Agency. CBI is not a statutory body. It got its powers from Delhi Special Police Establishment Act 1946. The present day CBI, the name CBI as well as the present form of CBI, it was suggested by Santhanam Committee in 1963. Okay, Santhanam Committee mainly, this committee was constituted on prevention of corruption. Types of cases mainly handled by CBI: anti-corruption, economic crimes, special crimes which include terrorism, bomb blast, kidnapping for ransom, and crimes committed by the mafia, and finally suo motu. CBI itself also can take cases, suo motu cases they are known as. Under section 6 of the Delhi Special Police Establishment Act, any state can withdraw the consent given to CBI. That means withdrawal of the general consent to CBI. What does the withdrawal means? Withdrawal means CBI cannot enter into that state unless until they took the permission of the state or else on the direction of the court. At the moment, following states they withdraw the general consent to CBI: Meghalaya, Punjab, Rajasthan, West Bengal, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Kerala and Mizoram. So withdrawal of the general consent means what? CBI, they have to take prior permission from the state government, then only they can enter into that particular state. In spite a state is withdrawing the general consent, still CBI can enter into that state. Already I told you what are those exceptional conditions. Now the last topic, fifth one, digital advertisement policy. Recently, Government of India, Union Government approved a new policy. Through this new policy, the advertising wing of Central Board of Communication. Central Board of Communication is an advertising wing. The advertising wing, that is Central Board of Communication, they can allow advertise campaigns on social media, OTT platforms and other digital media as well. So it allowed these, these organization will control all these digital platforms. So how these digital platforms can be used for the campaigning of the Union Government. Troy is saying that in India, these telecom devices are increased. So now it is a high time that the central government agency, that is CBC, it must be given powers so that they can regulate what kind of content can be campaigned or can be advertised from Union Government. The policy enables, CBC can empanel agencies and organization in the OTT. That means they can list out in which organizations Union Government will give advertisements. That can be selected by the CBC. And CBC for the first time, they can also push public service campaigns, government advertisement even in the mobile apps as well, mobile applications also. The CBC, Central Bureau of Communication, it is a unit of the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. It provides communication solution to various ministries, department, PSUs. For example, if you are working in BDL or NTPC, you want to advertise about the achievements of your public service company, then CBC will provide solutions. They will give advertisements on behalf of your PSU. It was set up in 2017 with the integration of a Director of Advertising and Visual Publicity and a Directorate of Field Publicity and Song and Drama Division. By integrating all these three, we created the Central Bureau of Communication. So these are the 5 topics of today's video. Now let's see yesterday's MCQ question. The newly designated Virangana Durgavati Tiger Reserve is located in Madhya Pradesh. Consider the following statement regarding the FCRA, Foreign Contribution Regulation Act. Regarding that, so it enacted during the emergency in 1976. This law allowed the foreign donation to only associations and not to individuals. Okay. NGOs and associations registered to receive foreign contributions must declare details of mobile and immobile assets created using those contributions. This is right. The first one is right, and the second one, first one is wrong. Following 2 are the right. It was not in 1976. Let's check in which year that is. Next, which of the following provisions are part of fundamental rights under Constitution of India? Any section of the citizens residing in India having a distinct culture, language and script have the right to conserve the language and culture. Article 29. No citizen shall be denied admission into any educational institutions maintained by the state on grounds only of religion, race, caste, language or any of them. So if you look at these, both of these are guaranteed under cultural and educational rights. So both 1 and 2. Asolabatti Wildlife Sanctuary, seen in news, located in New Delhi. It is one of the national park and wildlife sanctuary present in New Delhi. The hydrogen bomb and uranium bomb, they are based respectively on what? Nuclear fusion and nuclear fission. First one is nuclear fusion and uranium bomb is a nuclear fission. Now let's see today's video question. Today's video question, which of the following about CBI, Central Bureau of Investigation, is right? Okay, pick the right one. Mains question, jurisdictions of CBI regarding lodging an FIR and conducting inquiry within a particular state is being questioned by various states. However, the power of states to withhold the consent to CBI is not absolute. Explain special reference to the federal character of India. Okay, read this question and try to put your answer how this general withdrawal related to federal principles. Now, as we reach to the end of this video, in this particular video, we discussed about all these following 5 topics, and this is the detailed analysis of the 13th November current issues. Thank you.